Oh, hey there. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look at security, I never feel secure. I look at them, I think, you couldn't outrun a snail. If there's a real problem, all you're going to do is maybe call the cops, who are going to show up after there's a problem, treat me like a criminal, and write a report on it, where I probably look like the bad guy. I never look at security and think, oh, I'm so glad you're here. You're really making me feel safe. I'll tell you what else I never do. When police are around, I never think, oh, thank God you're here. Now I'm safe. Nothing could possibly go wrong because you're here. You know what I think every single time, and I have my entire life? Oh, is there anything that I could get in trouble for right now? Is there anything they will find that will get me in trouble? I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't drink and drive. I don't do any bad thing, right? I mean, I've got a lead foot. But besides that, like, I'm not doing anything bad. I'm trying to help people out. I'm actively trying to help people out constantly. All I do is fix things everywhere I go. And every time I see a cop, I think, okay, like, did I make a complete stop at the stop sign? It's very frustrating to me. And I think that most people feel that way. Rather than thinking like, oh, good, they're here to help us. Like, if there's a criminal, we'll get them. That's not the case, okay? Like, every time I've had to call the police, and I'll be honest with you, I've had a gun to my head several times. I've been robbed at gunpoint and at knife point several times. The fastest the police got there when I called 911 was 6 hours. That's the fastest. I told them who did it. On 6 different occasions, I told them who did it. And they're like, well, that's your opinion. I'm like, I'm an eyewitness. There's these other eyewitnesses. And they're like, there's nothing we're going to do about it. I'm like, I can tell you where they live. They're like, no, we're not going to do anything about it at all. I was punched in the throat while some guy tried to steal my cell phone in New Orleans on Canal Street. I tried to flag a cop down. He just drove on by. I got one, and I was like, hey, look, that guy right there, he's not that far away. He's right there. Is walking away, he just punched me in the throat, and all these people saw it. He goes, what do you want me to do about it? I'm like, I don't know, go arrest him. And he's like, well, do you want to file a report? I'm like, I guess, but can you just go arrest him real quick, or at least detain him? And he pulls out a little notepad, and he's like, what's your name? What's your address? What's your social? Let me see your driver's license. Okay. And meanwhile, the guy's walking away, not at a fast pace. He writes down all my information. He tears it off and hands it to me. And I was like, you're unhelpful. I do not appreciate this. This is the way that I feel about the government in general. I feel like they go, we're here to protect you, sir. I'm like, cool, except for the fact that you never, ever, ever actually protect me. You are in my way, you cost me money, you are difficult, criminals go free while you harass good people. That is what I have a problem with. When people are like, oh, the government, we need the government. I'm like, we need a form of government. We don't need the form of government that we've got right now. And I know that you're going to argue and say we've got a better government than any other country on the planet. Maybe, maybe not, okay? Maybe we've just been told that so much that we believe it and we don't even question it. We don't even look. Let me tell you the way government should work on a micro level, okay? I'm building a neighborhood, which I've been trying to build for 4 straight years. And I still haven't got my land subdivided because the government's in my way, okay? They continue to cost me, I'm in 7 figures now. I have been for quite some time. And it's been 4 years and 2 months. And they continue to just be like, well, now there's this thing you need to sign, and this thing you need to sign, and this thing, and this. I'm getting a tree survey on land with no trees. I did a traffic impact analysis study for 10 houses in an established neighborhood. Like, seriously? I just had to do a study that cost me $1,400 to show me where to put silt fence, which is for erosion control. And I'll tell you where to put silt fence on this property. Nowhere. It doesn't even make sense. It's just stupid. It's just government nonsense. Nevertheless, on this very micro level, right, I'm forced to dig a pond. And then this pond, I can't just be like, hey, everybody gets a portion of this pond. No, I've got to maintain this 3/4 of an acre pond, and I've got to own it. Which means I don't want to own it. I got to keep paying property taxes on it forever on something that does me no good. So then I've got to establish a homeowners association to go, okay, look, everybody's got to pay their part of the property taxes on this thing, which will be, you know, a couple $100 a year or whatever in the world it is. I'm like, I don't want to be your government. I don't want to rule over you. But then because it's got a pond, we're probably gonna have to be like, well, you know, let's maintain it, make it pretty. and that's going to cost however many dollars, and so everybody chips in a little bit, and then it adds up to like, oh, it's pretty, and it's in our backyard. I'm okay with that, okay? I think most people would be. If they're not, I don't know, don't look at your backyard. And it's a relatively small amount, and there's a real tangible thing that you get a benefit from. And I'm like, that is government on a micro level. There are things that are bigger than us. I'm not going to build bridges and build highways, right? I want to drive on them, and so I'm going to pay my part. But I shouldn't have to pay more than my part, okay? I shouldn't have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year while somebody else pays nothing or gets paid to sit there and, you know, do nothing. And I understand that there are people that need it. That's not what I'm saying, okay? What I'm saying is that when a huge portion of my money that I give for tax purposes for things that are bigger than me, okay? We got 360 million Americans. It costs money to build highways. We get that. It costs money to do infrastructure and things that we're not going to do. We trust people to do that for us. I get that. We need that, okay? We need somebody to establish law and so on and so forth. But it's gotten so far out of control and it's gotten so stupid that literally they go, well, I'm sorry, sir, but you just fall through the cracks on every single thing. And it's everywhere I go. Every time I deal with the government, I'm just like, really? Well, how about if I just don't do it, right? Like the risk of whatever the penalty is doesn't outweigh whatever I've got to go through. So most of the time, I'm just like, if you catch me, I'll do something about it. I'll play dumb or something, but I'm over it. Like I'm just over being treated badly, especially when my money is going to like gender studies in Afghanistan or something like that. Like, how about we pay off our own debt? How about we deal with our own problems? How about we stop letting people lie to us? How about we stop having criminals that are in office? How about we stop, all the things that everybody is so upset about? Let's just clean it up and make it right. I mean, do we have to keep doing this nonsense, or can we just finally go, enough is enough? Because from everything I see, we are sick of what the government is doing. So let's do something about it. Just saying.